Good morning, headmaster, fellow teachers, dear student. I'm glad to be here to give a talk today. As you may realize, I have a different role today. Instead of being an audience at the back, sitting comfortably and waiting to see what happens, I'm now a speaker. Perhaps this could explain why I am a kind of relaxed sitting there not long ago. I'm going to talk about 3 stories of mathematics. Perhaps 2, if time doesn't allow me. Right. The first story is about a professor, his dog, and a ball. Professor Tim Pennance once brought his dog to the shore of Lake Michigan to play fetch. When he threw the ball, a bit of illustration. As you know, there's water, there's land. Along the shore, the dog quickly ran to fetch it. If he threw the ball, right straight out to this water, to the lake. The dog, with a bit of thinking, jumped into the lake and swam to catch it. I'm sure the dog is pretty a loyal dog. However, when Tim threw the ball, diagonally towards the lake, do you know what happened to the dog? The dog, instead of jumping right into the water, ran a distance along the shore before plunging into the water, and of course, to have to catch it. I'm sure many dog owners had similar experience like these. I believe you have a loyal dog, but Professor Tim Pennance suddenly got very amazed. He thought something pretty surprising was going on. I think he had to angle. The reason is, this is a very typical situation where shortest distance, straight line between 2 points, does not guarantee the minimum arrival time. If you were the dog, if you swim in the red arrow direction, perhaps you will reach the ball quite late. The dog instead chose to run along the shore, following the green path, and then jump into the water, following the yellow path. It looked like to Tim that his dog is trying to locate an optimal point along the shore in order to reach the ball as quickly as possible. Well, yes, why so amazed about that? In fact, the solution to such a challenge lies on somehow advanced mathematics. You know what the calculus is? What mathematics is? It is the calculus. And that's the solution. If you want to do it seriously, that's the solution. And Tim asking himself, am I dog doing calculus? So he came to the beach the second time, and this time carried himself some equipment, allowing him to make accurate records of the dog's path and the time it took him to reach the ball. He repeated some throwing. All right, and he got some data. After analyzing his data, he was kind of very convinced that actually his dog was using a calculus strategy to achieve his goal. Meaning, the dog knows calculus. Wow, really something. Well, the second story is about leaves of plants. Well, for this one, you need some imagination because it's not that kind of animated as before. If you have a custom, you have a habit to grow plants, you know plants grows in a spiral way. Why do they do that? They do this because such that new leaves won't shadow the old leaves. Oh, so what? Now, the thing is, how large apart should successive leaves separate from each other? How far an angle, perhaps separation angle, shall successive leaves separate each other? All right, here's an angle. The plants do. What's so funny about this angle? What's so interesting about this angle? The thing is, when the plant grows spirally, sorry, if I go there, I lose my voice, so I better stay here. When the plant grows spirally, okay, it tends to give not the full rotation, but a fraction of the rotation. What's that fraction value? In fact, the fraction value is the ratio of two very specific numbers. They are, as you can say, un over un plus 1 over 2, give you 0.5, 2 over 3, give you 0.666. Is it the Omen news? No. 3 over 5, 0.6, etc., etc. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, etc., etc. These are Fibonacci numbers, the very famous mathematical sequence. In fact, such a ratio alter a little bit, from successive leaves to successive leaf. But in general, they kind of follow the pattern. And the limiting value of the ratio is equal to the very famous constant, the golden ratio. About 0.618 is an irrational number, but that's roughly about it, right? That means each leaf will turn 0.18 rotation, more than half of the turn, and then start a new leaf. Why the plant is doing this? Because by doing so, each of the leaves will receive maximum amount of sunlight, and it can ensure that, as much as possible, rain fall to the root of the plant because of the separation as much as possible between each of the leaves. Right, here finish my second example. Now I try to be very restrictive. I know your time is precious, very valuable, right? So the last one, I'm going to be very brief. The arithmetic baby. Yes. Hello, baby. Yes. That's the baby. Right. Right? Oh. I would like to talk about it very briefly. Now, in fact, in 1992, a young psychologist, Helen Wing, published a paper reporting that babies as old as 4 months could understand concepts of quantities, 0, 1, 2, 3. And she managed to claim even that babies know arithmetic. They know addition, of course, it's very elementary. They know subtraction. I don't think I have time to go through the story, but the message is, can you see the message? Well, baby knows some numbers. Babies know some math. Right? As a family man, I usually carry a shopping list in my pocket. As you may realize, I'm trying to locate it. I mean, not my shopping list, but actually my speech list today. Right. And here's a bit of summing up, a conclusion, maybe. Well, it's not a lot. It's about 2,000 words. With the decimal places move 2 digits to the front, it's about 20 words. Oh, I'm sorry for that, but no, your time is precious. All right, yes, all right, yeah, I know, because it was written not long ago, just when I woke up this morning, so, I need that. Sorry about the paper. Right, from time to time, I see students who have worked hard on mathematics got very poor grades. They got frustrated because of these facts. They begin to lose their interest on the subject. Why this conclusion? Why I try to relate this conclusion to the 3 stories I told. Now, what we learned from the 3 stories, in fact, there are also lots and lots of examples supporting that nature, including human being, as a small part of it, is innate with mathematical ability. We are all, including the dogs, the cats, the tortoise, the crocodiles, mathematicians. Yes, it is. Can you see that? How intelligent the dog, the baby, and the leaves are. So, for those kind of students I mentioned not long ago, so may I encourage you, don't give up. The plants, the dog, the baby, wouldn't have found out they are so bright, they are so intelligent without being facing with the challenge. You have full potential. You haven't realized that yet. I would like to say something to my IB students as they are very soon to have their IB official exam, especially those who need to take mathematics as a challenge to himself. As Euclid once said to the king Plato, said, "Lord, there is no royal way to geometry." And I can say, in fact, in general, there's no royal way to learning. but I can give you a very, very useful tips before you go into the examination, the math examination. The tips is, don't forget to bring your IB-approved calculator. I'm glad that my talk served more than one purpose. In fact, this is actually a new message recently issued by the IBO. I'm glad that I said it here. So don't complain. If you brought the wrong you bring the wrong calculator to the hall, to the exam hall. So my talk is finished. All right, and thank you very much for the time.